Yeah, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Playoff Ready. Just looking at the Portugal and really looking at their path. I thought they would face Argentina. I thought they could beat Colombia, but I'm not sure what happened with these guys. Yeah, let's look at it.
The biggest mystery at the 2026 FIFA World Cup isn't who's going to win it, it's how Portugal became one of the biggest question marks. Because absolutely nothing about this team should feel this uncertain. This is the reigning UEFA Nations League champion, a squad featuring Diogo Costa, Ruben Dias, Nuno Mendes, Vitinha, João Neves, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, João Felix, Pedro Neto, and Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest goalscorer international football has ever seen. On paper, this looked like one of the most complete teams in the tournament, but 3 group matches have told a completely different story. Portugal were held by DR Congo, comfortably beat World Cup debutants Uzbekistan, then were second best for long periods against Colombia, who outshot them 24-13 and produced more than twice Portugal's expected goals.
I think that draw with DR Congo kind of ruined it for them.
Instead of topping Group K, Portugal finished second with just 5 points, handed themselves a far tougher knockout path, and left the group stage with
I thought they would see Messi. It would have been good for Ronaldo versus Messi in the last half. I don't think Messi's going that far though. He had an easier draw, but Portugal didn't really execute.
more questions than answers. Now the conversation has exploded. Is Roberto Martinez getting the best out of this extraordinary squad? Why does arguably the best midfield at the tournament still look disconnected? Has Portugal become too dependent on a 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo? And why has one of the deepest squads in world football become one of the most divided football nations at this World Cup? Because this story isn't just about tactics, it isn't just about Ronaldo, and it certainly isn't just about one disappointing performance. It's about a team with everything needed to become world champions, except complete clarity over what they actually want to be. This is why Portugal have become the biggest football mystery of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Portugal should be better than this.
Mendes is pretty good too.
Not because of emotion or reputation, because of the actual squad they brought to this World Cup. Reigning UEFA Nations League champions, beat Spain in the 2025 final 2-2 after extra time, won the shootout 5-3. Diogo Costa in goal, Ruben Dias organising the defence, Nuno Mendes bombing forward from left back, Cancelo offering invention from the right, and a midfield that would make most national teams genuinely envious. Vitinha, João Neves, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Neves. That's not depth, that's a midfield built to control games against elite opposition. Add Leao, Neto, Felix, Conceição, Gonzalo Ramos and Ronaldo still carrying gravity and finishing pedigree at 41. On paper, Portugal look complete, maybe one of the most complete squads in the tournament. 3 matches later, the gap between the squad they have and the team they currently are is impossible to ignore. The warning came immediately against DR Congo. João Neves scored on his World Cup debut after 6 minutes. Early control, perfect start. Then Portugal slowed down. They kept the ball but stopped hurting DR Congo. Possession without penetration, territory without pressure, control without the final action that turns dominance into damage. DR Congo grew into the match because Portugal let them, and just before half-time, Ioane Wissa punished them. DR Congo's first ever World Cup goal, their first ever World Cup point. For Portugal, something more uncomfortable. proof that this team can have the ball for long stretches and still look strangely blunt. The midfield had the quality to control, but the front line couldn't consistently connect. Ball moved around but not through DR Congo with enough speed or imagination. Ronaldo available in the box, but Portugal not creating the repeatable chances
To be honest, Spain doesn't look that good either, so I don't know.
that make a striker inevitable. Bruno drifted in and out, wide players threatened in flashes, fullbacks pushed on but final delivery wasn't consistent. Lots of talented parts, no clear attacking mechanism. Then Uzbekistan, and for one night the pressure lifted. 5-0. Ronaldo scored twice, becoming the first player to score in 6 different World Cups. Nuno Mendes scored, Leao added another. Emphatic scoreline, needed result. But Uzbekistan were World Cup debutants who couldn't survive Portugal's width or match the individual quality in the final third. It showed what Portugal can do when the opponent gives them space. It didn't answer the real question: can this system create enough against strong, organised, athletic teams who deny Portugal easy access into the box? Colombia gave the answer. The final group game in Miami: win and you top the group. Instead, Portugal drew 0-0, finished second and walked into a harder knockout path. And this wasn't an empty goalless draw. Colombia were the better team. 24 shots to Portugal's 13. 1.63 expected goals against Portugal's 0.69. Davinson Sanchez had a late header ruled out for offside by millimetres. Costa had to make important saves. Portugal survived this match more than they controlled it.
What Colombia exposed wasn't a possession problem, it was clarity. Their transitions had purpose, their runners arrived with timing, their pressure forced Portugal into uncomfortable zones. Bruno Fernandes had a close-range chance saved by Vargas. That was Portugal's clearest moment. Never looked like a team fully imposing themselves. The contradiction is maddening because the talent is real. Costa, Diaz, Mendes, Cancelo, Vitinha, Neves, Bruno, Bernardo, all of them capable of controlling a World Cup match. And yet after 3 games, the feeling isn't excitement, it's tension. Early goal against DR Congo, failed to build on it. 5 goals against Uzbekistan, the weakest team in the group. Against Colombia, when the group was there to be won, they were outshot, outcreated, and nearly beaten by a goal VAR disallowed by inches. Colombia top with 7 points, Portugal second with 5. Colombia face Ghana, Portugal face Croatia. That's the price of underperformance written plainly in the bracket. Croatia aren't a comfortable first knockout opponent. They know how to slow tournament games down, how to survive pressure, how to drag matches into uncomfortable territory. Portugal could have entered the knockouts with momentum. Instead, they enter with questions everywhere. This isn't a limited team, not short of stars, not missing technical quality. The problem is more unsettling than that. After 3 matches, they still don't look like a team sure of how to use what they have. So, if the squad is genuinely this good, why are Portugal supporters more frustrated than excited? And what exactly is stopping this team from reaching its potential?
Portugal's problem isn't possession, it's what happens after it. Martinez's team can keep the ball, circulate calmly, push fullbacks high, reach the final third, and still not look truly dangerous. Against DR Congo, control for long spells, 1-1. Against Colombia, technically good enough to survive, but Colombia took 24 shots to Portugal's 13 and generated 1.63 expected goals against Portugal's 0.69. That's not bad luck, that's structure. The basic idea is sound. Stretch with width, Mendes and Cancelo as aggressive fullbacks, Vitinha or Neves helping build up, Bruno finding pockets between the lines, wide players attacking 1v1. Against Uzbekistan, it worked beautifully. Against better opposition, it turns slow and predictable. DR Congo defended the important spaces and let Portugal have everything else. Colombia went further, pressing with confidence, disrupting the midfield rhythm, attacking quickly on turnovers. That forced Vitinha and Neves into constant repair work instead of connecting attacks. The midfielders spent large stretches firefighting. That's where it disconnects. Bruno is at his best receiving between the lines and playing early. When Portugal's circulation slows, he drops deeper to find the ball. The moment he does, Portugal lose a body around the penalty area. Ronaldo waits high for service. Wide players hold width. Suddenly, Portugal have possession but no real relationships near the penalty area. Which is why the Bernardo question won't go away. He lives in exactly the tight spaces Portugal is struggling to occupy, receiving under pressure, combining quickly, controlling tempo with one touch. At this World Cup, Portugal look more rigid than they did in the Nations League final, where their midfield and attacking lines were more connected. Control without threat is the summary. Portugal's possession became a way of avoiding danger rather than creating it. That's a serious warning entering the knockouts. Then there's Ronaldo, which has to be handled honestly. 145 goals in 230 Portugal appearances. First player to score at 6 different World Cups. Still dangerous in the box. Still a reference point defenders never fully ignore. The question in 2026 isn't whether he's great. That conversation ended years ago. The question is whether Portugal's best structure requires him playing every single minute as the fixed number 9. The tactical cost is real. He no longer gives Portugal pressing intensity, ball carrying, or combination play. When service is clean, he still punishes teams. Uzbekistan confirmed that. When service is blocked, he gets isolated. Colombia and DR Congo both confirmed that. Portugal supporters are genuinely split. One side sees the goals, records, leadership, and the fear he still creates. The other sees a team bending its entire attacking shape around a 41-year-old who needs specific service to function. While Bernardo operates on the margins, Bruno drops too deep, and Ramos waits unused on the bench. Both sides have a point. That's what makes it uncomfortable. Ronaldo can still score, can still decide a match, but knockout football isn't only about finishing chances. It's about helping create them, helping press, helping connect the team when opponents deny you space. After 3 group games, Portugal haven't consistently shown they can do that with him as the fixed centre of everything. They're not broken, they're caught between 2 versions of themselves. The Portugal that still trusts its greatest player to solve everything, and the Portugal that might need to become something different before the knockout stage forces the decision.
This has moved past the Ronaldo debate. It's now about the manager who keeps making the same choices when the performances keep demanding something different. The options have been there. Bernardo available, Ramos available, Leao changing games in flashes, Conceição bringing directness from the bench. Yet Ronaldo played every minute of the group stage while Portugal failed to create enough against serious opposition. Martinez
Yeah, he shouldn't play every minute of the group stage. Yeah, that's true.
defended it publicly, saying Portugal make decisions based on their own data. That defense gets harder to sell when Colombia out-create you with the group on the line. Bernardo is the clearest example of the problem. Not just another squad player, a footballer who gives Portugal control in the exact spaces where knockout games get decided. Keeping him marginal while the attack struggles to connect is a choice that demands explanation. Ramos waiting on the bench raises the same question. If Ronaldo isn't getting service, Ramos changes the problem, but Martinez keeps trusting gravity over mobility. Loyalty is understandable. Ronaldo is Portugal's greatest player, but loyalty isn't a tactic. The criticism has come from everywhere. Schmeichel argued Portugal risk wasting another golden generation, the same charge Belgium faced under Martinez. Shearer questioned whether Martinez even has the authority to substitute Ronaldo when the game demands it. Henry made the point cleanly. The team needs to score, not the individual. Rooney pointed to Ronaldo's lack of connection with teammates and the defensive burden
tension that creates. Scholes was blunt about the difficulty of starting a 41-year-old at this level. Then there are the reported links connecting Martinez to Al Nassr after the tournament, potentially reuniting him with Ronaldo at club level. Nothing confirmed, but the timing means fans won't let it go. When Ronaldo plays every minute and Bernardo waits, the question writes itself: is the manager making the hard football decision or avoiding the political one? Which brings us to Croatia, who are exactly the wrong first knockout opponent for a team still searching for clarity. Modric at 40 still matters, because Croatia understand rhythm, patience and tournament survival better than almost anyone. They know how to slow games down and drag you into the match you didn't want to play. Finishing second has consequences. Portugal could have topped Group K. Instead, they drew with Colombia and walked into Croatia in the round of 32. Survive that, and Spain, the USA with home momentum, and potentially France with Mbappe could follow. Portugal didn't just drop points, they built a harder World Cup for themselves. The talent excuse isn't available. The squad is genuinely one of the strongest remaining. What's missing is clarity. They haven't decided whether this is still Ronaldo's Portugal or the Portugal of Vitinha, Neves, Bruno and Bernardo. Martinez is caught between both. The performances are suffering because of it. Knockout football doesn't reward potential, it rewards clarity. After 3 matches, Portugal are still searching for theirs.
That's true. Africans don't like South Africa.
Portugal played today, and everybody wants Ronaldo and Portugal to cook and win this game. But if you're a Mexico fan, you don't want that to happen, and let me tell you why. And don't worry, this has
The biggest mystery at the 2026 FIFA World Cup isn't who's going to win it, it's how Portugal became one of the biggest question marks. Because absolutely nothing about this team should feel this uncertain. This is the reigning UEFA nation.
Knows to play. Even Modric. Modric is legendary.
If you think Cristiano Ronaldo had a bad game, you did not watch the match. If you think Portugal are not going to win the World Cup, you don't know football. You're telling me at the age of 41, Ronaldo is doing overhead bicycle kicks. Something you will never see from Lionel Messi at these ages. Since turning
One of the most unpredictable round of 32 matches is Portugal versus Croatia. Portugal came into this World Cup as one of the favorites, but their group stage performances have raised a lot of questions. The only convincing victory came against Uzbekistan, while Portugal struggled to beat the stronger teams they faced. Now they're up against Croatia. Croatia have built a reputation for delivering at World Cups, reaching the final in 2018 and the semifinals in 2022. Once again, they've shown they know how to get results on the biggest stage. This is why Portugal have to somehow improve their performance.
The biggest mystery at the 2026 FIFA World Cup isn't who's going to win it, it's how Portugal.
It's all over. We now know the knockout stages are set and we're ready to watch the knockout stages. That was one of the funnest group stages I've ever watched ever in a World Cup. I thought it was phenomenal. The big games were the big games. They weren't great. The small games, were the great games. Even
Yeah.
Austria versus Algeria here at the end, they went battled it, yo. Toe for
Yeah,
toe,
that
bang
was
for
a
bang,
good game.
like just banging at each other, bro. And the game ends 3-3, and both of them end up advancing to the knockout stages. But it was a phenomenal group stage, in my opinion, for many, many teams. And then it was a lackluster group stage for many other teams. I'm Portuguese. I want to start there. But before I start there, we start with Argentina, right? Today's game really didn't matter. They gave Messi 40 minutes. Messi came into the game, I think, gave about 40, 30 minutes. And Leo, man, my guy, man. This guy is just, I know he's 39 years old, and I know that we're supposed to be saying it's all over, this and that, and we're supposed to be talking about retirement and stuff like that. The guy still looks phenomenal. He still has a great free kick on him. He's still in phenomenal shape. He's leading the goal scorers at the World Cup. He looks great, and it just seems like this World Cup is in such a great place for him. He's ahead of Harry Kane, Mbappe, and Haaland as the top goal scorer in a World Cup at 39 years old, okay? With the second thing being said, to the Norway coach, that is how you coach a team in the World Cup. They literally knew there was locked up and they weren't going to get eliminated or they didn't have to play nobody, but they still gave Messi time. Not just because it was Messi's final World Cup, but it's simply down to the fact, because if Messi wants to play another World Cup, he can, guys. The facts are that. If he wants to, he probably could. Messi is still in really good shape, and I would imagine 3-4 years from now, he's probably still could play ball if he wanted to. But the facts are this, bro. Norway had an opportunity to put their star player on the field for 20, 30 minutes, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And Argentina
That was
did.
You should see what you have, you know what I mean? That was weird. Because you have to face them eventually, man. Measure what you have. I don't know what the coach was thinking.
And because of that, Messi scores a phenomenal free kick, and he puts himself in a good spot to win the Golden Boot. Now, I know individual trophies don't matter and individual trophies aren't important, but at the end of the day, it builds confidence around the team. It builds confidence around the locker room. It builds confidence to go on and have a successful World Cup. But this is football. Cabo Verde just went through. South Africa went through. Algeria saved themselves and Austria saved themselves in the last minute. These are the facts, man. The facts are anything can happen in football. Anything, any moment can happen in football, bro. That's the facts. And the facts are Messi could go out to his next game, which is supposed to be easy against Cabo Verde. Ronaldo could go out to Croatia. Croatia could go out to Portugal. All of these things. It's the World Cup, bro. All I'm telling you, there is no easy path. Argentina versus Colombia, if both teams make it there, is going to be one for the history books. Colombia versus Argentina are never easy games. Colombia versus Argentina is always a massive rival in South American football. If you watch South American football, I guarantee you, Argentina might have wanted to play Portugal more than they wanted to play Colombia. That's just what I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm telling you the absolute truth here. Argentina probably don't want to play Colombia. They probably want to play Portugal. Why? Because Portugal does not match well against African teams or South African or South American teams. Yeah, it just seems that way.
Yeah, it just seems that.
As a Portuguese person, it looks that way. And for Portuguese people,
yeah, I think Portugal does better with European teams.
people, I know the side is harder, but honestly, I feel like Portugal will show up better against European sides than they've shown anywhere else. They did not show up against an African side. They did not show up against a South American side. And this is just the way it's been for many different World Cups as well. It's not just this World Cup. So at the end of the day, yeah. I don't really sit here and look at sides and look at this and look.
Thing hasn't played, hasn't scored. Ronaldo hasn't scored. Cristiano hasn't scored against a World Cup, a Latin American World Cup team. Ever.
Look at that. I look at performances, and all I got to say to you is this. Argentina got the easy side because Argentina won their group, and Argentina got the easy side because Portugal didn't do their job, and Argentina got the easy side if you don't respect Colombia. Colombia is a good team. Egypt is a good team. Any team can knock out anyone at the World Cup. Is Argentina favorites to go to the semifinals now? Absolutely. Yeah, they should be because they're the champions coming into this World Cup. So they should be. But what Messi is doing at this World Cup, the player he's being, the way he's leading this team, the way he's being a leader, a team player, a support player, a step up and be the man is phenomenal, lads. It's absolutely phenomenal. And you can only take your hat off to this guy. For me, jump to the Portugal game. I'm disappointed But I'm not disappointed because we didn't win the group. I'm disappointed because we didn't play ball against Congo and we didn't play ball against Colombia. I take my hat off to Colombia. I think Colombia approached the game properly. I think Colombia was more aggressive. I think Colombia had more creativity. I think Colombia had a better game plan approaching the game. And I think they had really good opportunities to take great shots from outside the box. Why? Because Portugal decided to enter into the game with Ruben Neves, which let Ruben Neves track Luis Diaz's side more often. And he shut, and they definitely shut Luis Diaz out of the game, which is very hard to do because Luis Diaz is one of the best wingers in football. And that was great plans by Roberto Martinez. He did phenomenal. But when you take that defensive mid and you track him out here, all of a sudden this space is open. So what happens? Colombia has 20 shots and maybe 10, 15 of them came from outside the box. They had a lot of room to shoot from outside the box consistently because Luis Diaz was pushing a midfielder out to the side, which left the middle of the park open. Colombia had a very smart game plan. They played it very smart and they took what Portugal gave them. I think today they deserve to win the game. And I think that Portugal could have won the game on a Bruno Fernandes that he has to finish, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I think Colombia had a chance where Luis Suarez gets the ball taken off his head by Ruben Diaz that was going to go into the back of the net. They had a couple good shots from outside the box, but again, they're just outside the box shots. Nothing, those can go anywhere. But they also had a great opportunity that Diogo Costa made a save when he got down on. And also Rios had a really good chance as well. And then you go to Portugal's side, João Felix had a really good chance, and then Bruno Fernandes. And this is the thing that I want to talk to you guys about. All these people went on TV. This is important for me to say to you guys so you guys understand. All these people went on TV. All of them. The Thierry Henrys, the Zlatan Ibrahimovic's, all of them. I'm not going to name every names, but all the big names went on TV. And I cannot speak for those guys are football players. They know anything way more than I could ever tell you about a football game, okay? I know nothing compared to those guys. But what I can tell you is the same exact play that Ronaldo missed against Congo, the same exact one, fell to Bruno Fernandes. And Bruno Fernandes has two things to do here. He can shoot the ball, or he can let the ball pass him to a wide open Ronaldo, and Ronaldo puts it into the back of the net. Bruno shot the ball. I didn't question it. I let it go. Bruno is a phenomenal football player. He didn't make it. Guess what the media would have done if Ronaldo missed that? If Ronaldo missed that, they would have said he should have let the ball roll to Bruno Fernandes. You guys see what I'm saying? It's the identical play. At the end of the day, guys, I told you guys in the Congo game, and I'm telling you this again, the Portuguese players around Ronaldo, because Ronaldo is 41 years old. I don't know if he should be leading the line, not leading the line. At the end of the day, he's there because he's still in physical condition. And the second thing, he is an icon, a legend to us Portuguese people. So we understand that we could be better in a different way, in a different thing, but it's just like Croatia with Luka Modric. No matter how you look at it, no matter where he is in the standings of the best players, whatever, he's a legend to your team, and you would, if he wants to play for everything he's given your country, you kind of let him play. Now, with that being said, is Bruno Fernandes been good enough? Has Vitinha been good enough? Is João Neves starting on the bench smart? Has Nuno Mendes been good enough? Has Pedro Neto showed anything at this World Cup? Is Rafael Leao deserving of more times? Has João Felix been able to find Ronaldo? Has there been anything that you can say this team has done positive, anything besides defend well? I can tell you that right now. You went against a Colombia that scored against everyone and wasn't able to score against you. You took Luis Diaz out of the game. You played 3 games in the World Cup. You didn't suffer a goal. So defensively, you did very well. Defensively, you suffered 1 goal. I'm sorry, you suffered to Congo. I lied because they tied 1-1, right? So you suffered to Congo off of a corner. But on the run, I think it was off of a corner. On the run of play, you really haven't suffered a goal. So you've been very good defensively. You've defended very, very well. I keep forgetting Congo scored a goal, but you defended very, very well. And you put up 5 goals, but only in 1 game you scored. So offensively, there's a problem. And the problem is not just Cristiano Ronaldo. It's the service from Portugal. And it's the lack of creativity and the lack of ability. They felt that it was enough. And I don't really want to sit here and just blame Portugal, because I want to say for a lot of teams, okay, Spain was through. And the way they played Uruguay was just enough. They didn't really try to ever.
Yeah, Spain was weird too. A lot of the top teams didn't look that great.
Or put the pedal to the metal or go for more or anything like that. Just enough. Even though they could have lost first place, they did just enough. A lot of teams that were through did just enough. And You don't like to see that. And that's why I tell you a lot of the smaller games in this World Cup were much better because the games that we all anticipated to be awesome games turned out to not be awesome games. Colombia and Portugal might have been the best 0-0 we watched this World Cup because there was chances for Portugal, a lot of chances for Colombia. But at the end of the day, I said back in December that, I was live streaming and everybody was saying boom, 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 boom. And I said, what's to say that Colombia is going to, I said, why are y'all saying Portugal is just going to win this group? I was like, Colombia can win this group. And I told people that I thought Colombia would win the group because I'm telling you guys right now, first of all, I know Portugal doesn't match up against South American teams well. And also, number two, I think Portugal's phenomenal what they've done in the Nations League. And I think they had a great Euro and all that stuff. But Portugal does this thing a lot where they give themselves harder games and they make it harder for themselves, not making it a harder path, but I'm just saying within the game. They never really tried to take away, outside of Luis Diaz, what Colombia was trying to do to them. They never tried to adjust and not letting the shots come from outside the box. And offensively, I don't know how Pedro Neto makes 90 minutes. He was not good today and he made 90 minutes. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I also hate the noise around Portugal because we have this Portugal guys that this is the facts, man. You guys might not believe me, but it is what it is. Gonçalo Ramos deserves time at this World Cup. And going into the World Cup, I thought he would receive time. But because of the first game tying to Congo and because of the noise that was around Ronaldo and Gonçalo Ramos, Roberto Martinez now knows if he puts in Gonçalo Ramos and he scores the winner against Colombia, that everybody would say, look how much better the team plays with Gonçalo Ramos. You have to bench Ronaldo. And now going into the knockout stages, they're going to want Gonçalo Ramos over Ronaldo. And now you have the same problem that Fernando Santos caused at the Qatar World Cup. Listen, his go-to number 9 is Ronaldo. And unfortunately, he's in a place now where he doesn't want to pull Ronaldo because he doesn't want to start controversy. And it really sucks that a player like Gonçalo Ramos is not going to see as much time as he deserves to see at this World Cup simply because of the fact that it's going to cause too much noise. You know what I'm saying? And do I think Gonçalo Ramos should bench Ronaldo? Honestly, guys, I don't know, right? I would probably say no because if Ronaldo is what he is, I think he should see more playing time. Also, I want you to know the same people that are calling for Ronaldo to be benched to Gonçalo Ramos are the same people that are saying that he was overpaid for by AC Milan and he's not a good player and AC Milan's crazy and this and that. Same people that want Ronaldo benched are the same people saying that Gonçalo Ramos is an overpriced, overhyped player that AC Milan just bought, like one of the worst transfers ever. It's the same people, by the way. So do I think Gonçalo Ramos, the thing is, Paulinho down in Mexico was playing phenomenal, and he's one of the best players in the Mexican league, and we didn't take him. And we took a player that doesn't see a lot of minutes for PSG, and now we come into this World Cup, and he's not seeing a lot of minutes again. So it really brings a lot of questions up. Also, it's not just Gonçalo Ramos. Guedes could have seen some playing time, and he didn't see any playing time. So I just don't like the way Portugal approached the game to Colombia. They didn't approach it in a way where I thought that they were really trying to win the game. And if you weren't really trying to win the game, I would have just loved for them to pull some players up top and really change it up. I think Francisco Conceição could have seen some time. I think Guedes could have seen some time. I think Gonçalo Ramos could have seen some time. I think Inácio should have seen the field a little bit. So I think that's a little bit annoying to me, that. And I think that the fact that they just didn't come out and perform in any of the games, really. Uzbekistan, they performed, but I don't even think they performed well. They were still slow. They were still lacking creativity, lacking adjustments during the game. So I just think Portugal lacks the energy and the want to go out there and win. And I also think we're seeing a similar thing with England. I think that England is a team with phenomenal football players. And I think the Croatia game, they played it really well. But the game after Croatia, I don't think that England really ever reached what I think they can reach. Today, they got the result. They won their game and they won their group, which is the most important thing. But I do think that England has way better football in them. And I think England can play way better football. And I think England has a lot of really good football in them, right? No one believed. No one thought that they should be in knockout stages. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't that. But the facts of this, bro, South Africa's walking into a game against Canada, one of the hosts, and the morale and the energy has to be high. We've seen African teams do incredible things in this World Cup. And I think that they should believe 1,000% that they could take Canada out this tournament. And I think that they should have the most amount of energy going into this game, because as they look around and see what all the African nations are doing in this World Cup, there's only a sense of belief and a sense of energy and a sense of pride because they've been so good. And I think that is the energy that you need in a World Cup. Just the fact that you're there now and it's time to believe. Whether you're South Africa, whether you're Spain, whether you're France, whether you're Portugal, whether you're Argentina, it doesn't matter if your side is the easy side, the hard side. That's completely irrelevant. You are in the knockout stages of the World Cup. Anything can happen now. You need to believe, you need to trust, and you need to have play with pride and honor, and go out there and represent your country the best you possibly can. And anything at that point is possible when the boys start believing. So at this point, lads, this is when I tell you the World Cup really starts today. Like the World Cup, the real World Cup begins now. It begins, well, when you guys are seeing this, it begins now, bro. It begins right here. This is the moment that everything really gets juicy. It's win or go home. This is it, lads. This is when you have to play your best football. All you got to do is make it out the group. Now it's time for you to play your best football. I love you guys. Thank y'all for watching. I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Portugal. I'll do a roundup of the matches tomorrow. I'll look at the Canadian match, South Africa match. Not much to comment. It was okay. Canada went through. We'll see the matches tomorrow. Some big matches, so we'll kind of see well the matches today, then go from there. All right, guys.